developers that made it this far. How's everybody feel? How do you feel, Jim Chris?
I feel awesome.
Charlie? At the during our stand-up, at work, we ask how people feel. So how's everybody feel? Right. Good to hear. All right, well, welcome to the closing ceremonies for the 2015 edition, the 6th edition of Southwest Ohio GiveCamp. Thank you so much. I'll probably say it a lot. Thank you so much for all the work you put in this weekend. You guys are awesome, spending your whole weekend here. Everything you did is, obviously you've been told that by your nonprofits, I'm sure, over and over, but I want to say it from the organizing crew, that you guys do great work and we really appreciate it. So without further ado, because you want to get going, I'm sure, and go home. Let's go over some stats real quick. So here's the stats for this weekend, 2015. We had 73 developers, database administrators, and designers. That's just actual people on the ground. 8 of us organizers were here. 24 nonprofit representatives, which is awesome. That is really cool that we had that many nonprofit representatives here. We had 15 kids in the code camp yesterday, and 120 people here all weekend. So that is really cool. I think that's a record.
No, last year it's slightly more for more kids. So.
Wow. Okay. We had more kids last year, but still, thank you very much. Those are awesome numbers. All right, everybody all together approximately contributed, I love approximately, but it's still an exact number. 1,627 hours, resulting in $162,700 in value to every nonprofit here. Thank you very much. You guys are awesome. 12 total nonprofits with a value of approximately $13.5 per charity. How did that get in there?
You left Sam unattended with the presentation.
Oh, darn it. All right, anyway, I'm glad you love my arms. At least now I'm Sam. I'm going to present Sam now. Okay. All right, let's get into the project demos. First up, we have Mommy Has Breast Cancer. And that's Chris Gay as the team lead. And, Jocelyn. That's a lot of names. I know. Jocelyn is the nonprofit rep, so we'll let them go first here. Chris, you can start.
All right, so as he introduced us, we're Mommy's Breast Cancer, and we didn't have anything pretty to share, so we opted not to demo it, but I am going to tell you about all the awesome things we did get done this weekend, and all the awesome work that we are going to keep working on after this weekend. So we entered in this weekend with the idea that we would create some new registration systems. Now we weren't just building on top of our existing infrastructure. We were actually porting things from a PHP and WordPress site over to .NET Nuke was our goal at first. So what we did was we laid out a brand new model for everything, all the database models, all the relationships, all of the everything we need for registration for vendors, moms, and grantees. Not only did we lay it out, but we did set up a database. We created the scripts for the installation and the installation of all the default data. So we can click install, database is ready and set to go. We added some new subdomains so that we could toggle between our .NET data management system and our WordPress content management system. So these two are going to live side by side. We added some A records and did some things to the DNS so that we can toggle seamlessly between the two. And the user really doesn't know that all the code's living in lots of different places. We also we started down the .NET pathway. We ran into some roadblocks that ate up a lot of time. And Chris worked tirelessly all night, day, the whole team worked to try to overcome some of these roadblocks. But ultimately, we backed up. We decided we would fall back and punt. And we went with just straight ASP.
Yeah, we dropped the .NET.
So we had to drop our .NET Nuke dreams and go to straight ASP. So we did get our first registration page up and running, but we didn't get all the styling done and the style sheeting and all that applied. So it's not pretty. We won't show it, we won't demo it. It's just kind of, all the real magic is behind the scenes. So Chris and I are gonna keep working on it till it's done. We got all the foundation in place. So I'm really excited about that. And I think our team is awesome, which they're gone. But I just want to give a big round of applause for Chris.
I don't know what else I can add to that, but I guess the only thing I can say is how helpful Jocelyn was in the process. I think I'm pretty sure we were the only team that actually had a developer for our charity. So, but we did some impressive things as far as the schema and database and all that. We laid out a lot of stuff and relayed it out, but we got it to the point where it's going to work for them. And we're going to make this work and be a really successful project.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you, GiveCamp, and everyone here, and to the organizers.
This was a lot of fun, and I really want to thank my team and the GiveCamp hosters. A really cool thing.
Chris does win the award for staying all night on through Friday and Saturday. He was the only one working all the way through, so good job, Chris. Generation dating. So they got the fun iPhone app to show and the Android app. And Mary's going to talk. You're going to do the play-by-play while they demo here, right? All right.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. First off, I want to say Team Gen D was amazing. We have quite a sense of humor, if you can't tell. But we developed an app for our events and access card for both iPhone and Android. You're just setting up the brightness. So when you open it up, on iPhone it has that nice little screen. But it will have the upcoming events and the most prominent one first, and you can scroll down to the ones within a month. And then at the bottom you have, if you're not a member, so they can go straight to registering to become a member, as well as social media links, so they can connect with us on various other platforms. Then the second aspect to the app was our access card and having a more user-friendly way to use this. It was a printed card in the past, so we wanted to have it on an actual database, so a member will get the PIN, so we have some control on who's actually using it and getting the discount. And then from there, you can see the various places in the Dayton area where it can be used. So yeah, once again, thank you to everyone here and allowing Gen D to be a part of this. I think this is really going to benefit our memberships because we are young professionals where we live on our cell phones. So it's going to prove a great benefit to us.
Some of the technical stuff real quick. So the event feed is all coming from the Facebook API. And then if you go into event, there's like an RSVP button that you can do. And that uses Facebook API to RSVP. And if you like ask for access and all that stuff, we have a reminder that you can do. So I'll do a reminder here, and then go back out of here, wait a couple seconds. We've got our set up to do a little demo. See if it pops. There we go. So there's our notification. And so the access code you guys saw before, we have that stored in parse, and we do a call with the access code they present to validate, and then all of these things are stored in parse as well. So Mary can go in and update them at will. I don't think there's anything else I can think of. Well, so here's our team members. There's lots of them. Yeah. Yeah, that's all we got. Thanks a lot. We had a lot of fun.
All right, good job, team. Of course I get it. All right, the next one up is Miami Valley Down Syndrome Association. That's Chase's team and the nonprofit. Jenna, thank you. And you want Chase going first here? You gonna talk first?
Show the
Okay,
before.
here you go.
Well, first of all, can I get a huge round of applause for my team because they were just fantastic. We started off on Friday and our volunteers were slowly trickling in and each one of them jumped in to help us out and they did an awesome job. So to give a little bit of background, we had an existing site that was not very good. It was not very easy to maintain for us. And I have to tell you as a parent, so I'm a parent of a child with Down syndrome, and when you first get that diagnosis and you're grasping for straws, you're trying to figure out what it means for you, it is amazing to have a website to go to find out what you need to know as a parent, to see that your kid's still going to be cute, to learn about the diagnosis and learn that it's not all doom and gloom. That is so hugely important for people to be able to do by the web. And our previous site didn't have that. There's nowhere up here that jumps out like, hey, you're a new or expectant parent. What do you do? Where do you go? All the pictures there, the graphics are very small and elementary. So our team worked tirelessly to create a whole new site. We have new graphics that were designed by one of the designers here. Actually, we had two designers that helped us out quite a bit. And we have, so this was our old mobile site, right? It said coming soon. It said that for about 2 years. And so there were lots of other things that ended up being integrated. I have to say what's been so cool is that we were paying $2,000 a year for a website platform, and I would call them and I would ask, hey, we need to do this. And they would say, oh, let me get back to you. And I'd get a call a day later saying, no, we can't do that. It's not in the code. It doesn't make sense. And every single thing I asked our team to look into, they came up with a creative way to do it and address it. So everything that we wanted is here in the new site.
So we implemented their new website in Drupal, and we gave them a number of new features. We have a new carousel that they can easily edit on their homepage, call to actions that they can easily insert new icons and link to, an events calendar. They can easily go in and to find the event, the dates for their calendar, have recurring dates. Some of them, doesn't look like this one does, but we have event registration form capability on some of the events. Nice month-to-month view. Built-in web forms for things like contact us. And of course the back-end interface, as Jenna has told us, that it's definitely a step up from where they were in the past. They can easily go in, edit content, insert photos. They can go in and insert photos, and make the events easily change things around in their menus and everything else. So I just want to thank our team for being dedicated and here the whole weekend. We had David and Brian and Isaac, and Lizzie and Jessica and Katie helped us out some, and Alan May I think helped out about everybody. He helped us some out too. Yeah, so if you don't have anything to add, I just thank you all for being good sports, and we're glad that you're happy with the outcome.
Thank you for taking the lead.
Work. Thanks. So next up is Wesley Community Center, Marco Castella and Yvette. Yvette, what's your last name? What's that? Kelly. Kelly Fields. Oh, that's your last. I know your name's Yvette. Yeah, Kelly. It's like, all right. Oh, I guess Kevin Hammond is coming down too. Ooh. So here's what their site looked like last. This is what before Kevin and Marco and team got involved. So Kevin is gonna, I guess you're driving? Or are you
I'm
gonna
gonna
talk?
drive. I'm a lot more.
Who wants to talk?
Nobody wants to hear me talk.
All right,
I'm not gonna talk.
all right, who wants to talk first? Beth?
Well, so I'll open up. I just want to say, I was concerned since I was the last one here. And I was like, everybody's going to go to everybody else's team. They're kind of like in kickball, where you're the last one selected and you're just kind of standing there. But I was really so happy because me and Mark, who had met earlier in the week, and we had an amazing team. I love my team, Kevin and Marku, and there was also a wonderful bunch of other wonderful people whose names are escaping me because I'm a little bit sleep deprived, but you know who they are. He'll tell you. Katie, she helped with a lot of other people too. Katie was going around, Chris. Nourish, okay, and then there's another guy. He came Friday night. There's another person. I think he was just here like a little bit intermittently. So, but I just wanted to say they did such an amazing job. Our site is beautiful. I was just like weeping about how, oh my God, it's amazing. So I'm going to turn it over to him because I'm so very happy. All right.
Thank you.
There we go.
All right, so, yeah. Doesn't mean that because me and Kevin only ones left here, everyone pretty much put in same amount of time, and Katie had a little bit early today, and Chris and I wish couldn't make it today, but they all pulled in a lot of work, and I just tried to stay out of the way as much as I could because they're kind of self-organized and took command of the design and coding and setup and everything, so it's just kind of looking over and helping out as much as I could. So here's the new site, and we have, let's scroll up to the, yeah, so basically we had the content, we had all that content already when it started, so it was easy for us to just focus on the design, focus on the theme to use, and just focus on the overall structure, and then we just put in all of the information. So it's basically all about their programs, the services they do, how you can give as a donor, how you can volunteer, and their mission, and also upcoming events, they can add those. So she's an expert in WordPress now. She had a 2-hour lesson today, so she will be able to add all these events coming forward and do some reports. A little blog site there you can.
I particularly like the give part because we're trying to really make it simple at the top so people can easily navigate. So we wanted to make it so that people wouldn't have to go all over the place like they had on the old one. So we were able to go in and add some things to make it really easy for people to get to. And this is like, well, first of all, I'm a fundraiser by trade, so this is my favorite page. I like the give page. But I just kind of like how they were able to integrate the pictures with the wording, made it real simple and easy. Because our thing is to be able to maintain it afterwards in a very simple manner, which is why we did WordPress. That was one of our main goals, and that was accomplished like almost within day one. So I told them anything after that was just like extra stuff there.
Yeah, so I think that's it, and I thank our team, Kevin, and everyone else, and your colleague Nikki was here as well, helped us out yesterday, so I think that's all. Thank you. All right. It certainly looks a lot better. I agree. All right. Hearing, Speech, and Deaf Center of Greater Cincinnati. Team lead Josh Rose and nonprofit rep Susan. Come on, everybody. Looks like everybody's gonna get up there. Let's go. Come on, team. Here, I'll give it to Susan. Here, you want to talk about it? Here's your old site.
Oh, yes. We, like some other places in here, we had a website that no one could use. It was there. My predecessor set it up about 4 or 5 years ago. It was impossible to edit, negotiate with it. It fought with me constantly. I hated it. Everyone hated it. So we couldn't really express what we need with our website the way we should. And it's very important for all of our clients because our clients are either hard of hearing, have trouble speaking, or use American Sign Language and English isn't their first language. So the website is the go-to if they want any information about how to get services, because they can't call us, or they struggle to if they do call us, and if there isn't an interpreter to help around, they can't communicate. So they need our website. So we just said, please help us, and Southwest Ohio GiveCamp, and Josh and his team, which is Caroline and Jen is a designer. She helped create a new logo and who looked for us. We had Ron and Matt and Ellen, who all worked tirelessly to recreate something from garbage into something beautiful that we can use. Do you want to comment about it?
I have a few things to say. So let's start with what they had, just a little bit. So this is the existing site here. Compared to the big reveal, then the new site. Please load. One thing about the deaf community, and just to share something very personal, is my wife Emily and I are very involved with the deaf community. It's a passion of ours. Ever since my wife Emily went to a sign language class in college, she's kind of had a passion. So what started with me proposing to her in ASL has been continuing as a passion for us to be involved with a community, which is an isolated community. And these people, Hearing, Speech, and Deaf Center, are one of the few places they can go to actually connect with other human beings because of all of the issues they have dealing with communication. Think about how hard it would be to make phone calls when you can't speak. I mean, how do you reach out to people in your life? This organization is helping a community that is in desperate need. So the work that they're doing it was really an honor to be part of it. So let's talk about the site. Well, 90 years ago, Hearing, Speech, and Deaf Center came up with a logo, which looks kind of like this. And because we have Jen, superstar designer, this is the new logo. And we created a new color palette for them, new font, new brand.
I just want to add, because it's really hard to encapsulate what we do into one soundbite or one look bite like that, and Jen figured it out. So if you look at the logo, can you scroll down a bit? She has that's the symbol for signing. She has the speech bubble for speech, and those are hearing waves, sound waves. So she put them all into one thing. For 90 years, we've not been able to figure out how to do that. So we always have to say 3 different things that we do.
Yeah, so we have the carousel up top. We've got the 3 sections that they basically focus on, which is helping people who can't hear or have hearing loss issues, people who have issues speaking, and people who need interpretive services through ASL. We have the video, which introduces in sign. We have some statistics about the great work that Hearing, Speech, and Deaf Center is doing in the Cincinnati area. And then some social links down here. An event calendar. Which basically outlines the events that are upcoming for the community so that they can make sure to attend and connect with other people.
We promote events, not just our events, but any event that is related to the deaf community. We promote through our website.
And a blog, which for the very first post, my wife Emily made a guest authorship on the awesome stuff that we did this weekend. So this will hopefully put them on the track to help something that they can point people to that have trouble communicating. The other thing, obviously that's very important, is the smart device is basically the go-to device for the deaf community. Because texting and smart device has basically opened up a whole new world to them. So one thing that was very, very important for their site redesign was that it would work on a mobile device and be readable. Which, after the redesign, it is. So, I want to thank the team. And just one last thing, Caroline here is graduating from Miami very soon, and she's incredibly talented. So if you're looking to hire somebody, you know, she won't be on the job market for long. So, all right, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Great, thanks, Caroline. I didn't know we had Miami students here, so that's impressive. We need to tell Rod, because he didn't think anybody from Miami showed up, so thank you for showing up. It's awesome. All right. Oh, what did I do here? All right, Wise Educational Services, Trey, who's, I think, under the weather. So Neil has stood in for him as an awesome team lead at the last moment. And Carmilla, right? Carmelia is the charity. I'll give it over to you.
Oh, Lordy. I told you early on that you would have to take a look at this. This was my attempt at a website. Learned a little bit of CSS, a little bit of HTML. I was working on the GoDaddy, working with GoDaddy to build this site. And for those of you that I know. So I would open my site on any given day and things would move and fonts would be bigger and fonts would be smaller and I'd have a heart attack because I'd see on their platform that 10 people or 50 or 100 people had seen my site and they saw jacked upness. So to give you some idea, 19,000 people looked at this site as you click through it between June and August of last year, 19,000. Thanks to Google. But now we have an absolutely magnificent site thanks to my team. Thank you, team. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Where are you? Thank you, thank you, thank you. They did wonderfulness. They taught me so much during the past 3 days. And I'm really, really pleased with what we now have. One of the main things that I wanted was a cart because my parents had asked if they'd be able to go online and pay for tutoring services, so we now can do that. A lot of the things that you see there now, as far as setting the graphics and moving the sliders and all that, not sliders. Cart stuff, all the cart stuff. I learned how to do a lot of that stuff myself. Those are photos of my own kids. Contact page, set all that stuff up myself. And I just want to say thank you to everyone here because I have gotten an education like I never thought that I would get in just 3 days. It's been absolutely wonderful. So I'm ready to go, hit the ground running and do even more wonderful things for all those cute little faces that you see up there on the website. One other thing that I would really like to thank my team for, because we were approved back in the summer to, as a nonprofit organization, to sell tutoring services on Amazon.com. So I'll be able to now go ahead and start moving forward with that and get that launched so people can actually go out and see something decent. So thank you, everyone.
We did pretty good. Most of the content came from the old site, so that was a big help. And Carmelia did a lot of the legwork to move that content over. In particular, with the informational pages that have information about the different services that they offer. And so we were able to spend a lot of time really just focusing on the layout, graphics, getting WordPress to put things where we wanted WordPress to put things. And so it was challenging at times to get things exactly the way we wanted them, but you know, we had some help from other teams, and that was great too. And so you know, she's got a lot of the things that she had before, but in a real pretty and responsive layout that is nice to share. We've added a couple custom things like a contact form that has some additional information that she uses for tracking how people came to the site, and got this set up so it actually will store this in a database for her and potentially export to other things that she wants to upgrade later. And then obviously having the purchasing of tutoring and the online giving options is big. as well as, an outlet for sharing some of the photos and other things with the kids that attend. So I think we did a really good job, and it should be something that she can maintain going forward. Thanks.
Great. All right, next up, we have Parents to Partners. And Jason Roby is the team lead. And Leila, you can say that. So I'll let Leila talk first.
This was a tremendous labor of love. Back when I taught, I would have students who have moved 24 times a year, and I wanted to know, where do these go and why do we have nomadic children, and I could never find out what the answer. Well, last year I volunteered as a CASA court-appointed volunteer, and I found out these are foster children that the state tries to move from place to place. So I wrote the grant. I'm not going to be using the program, but what I also volunteered to work with foster youth, giving them a camp, and I get to learn more about these children. Well, from the time that I wrote the grant, I was trying to get to agencies who serve these youth to say, okay, here's an easy program, and I wanted to minimize the loss of these children. You know, these kids, when they move from place to place, they leave their friends, their family, their schools, their teacher, and I thought, is there a way we can create a program that finds homes based on the school district, so they can at least have different family, but they can keep the teachers. So none of the agency would contact me back. So I made a phone call, and when the director says, yeah, I can't talk to you because I'm way too important, and he hung up on me because it was too important to transfer. So then on Friday, I dressed up and I went to this agency to talk to the executive director, and he says, well, it's too late. You should have contacted us earlier. Like, how early did I contacted you as soon as I knew about this grant? So I came and I talked to Eric at 4:30, and I thought, well, we're not going to be able to do this program. I don't know what are the features we're going to have, but it just happens that yesterday the congressman came and he told me that he was a politician. He wouldn't tell me his name. He says, oh, I'm mad at you. And I said, he said, my name is Bill. I said, Bill Coley. He says, William P. Coley? He said, do you remember I talked to you last March, on March 14th, and you were supposed to change the law for foster youth, and you didn't do it. And he says, I don't remember the call. You don't remember the phone call. You don't remember the bill, and you don't remember the promise. And he said, no. So he sat with me for 20 minutes, and he gave me his personal phone number. And I said, it's going to be on speed dial if you don't make these changes. But the good thing is, he's going to help this program have it launched in the Butler County, and we're going to pilot it for any tweaks, and then he assured me and promised that it's going to be used on a statewide level.
I guess we should look at it, huh? So the goal of this was to build an application, like I said, that would help someone in the field doing their job, help place someone in a home that's in the same school district they're currently in, right? We want to kind of minimize change for them. And not that people don't want to do their jobs, but everybody's got a lot to do. And so when you're searching through a big stack of paper, trying to find a foster care home, it might be very difficult to find, okay, here are the 10 that are in that school district, right? So we wanted to make it easier. So there are two different use cases. There's the person where they're sitting in the office, so they need to be able to do it from their desktop would be easy. And then we've also got a mobile experience too, which I'm going to show you here in a moment. So fostercarehomefinder.com is where we're going to want to go. So we got this launched, put up today. It's not a WordPress site, so I guess we're a little different. So we actually built this on the .NET stack. It's an AngularJS app, interacting with Web API for those who really want to get into the tech stuff. But here's the desktop experience. So they'll be able to log in. We use real email addresses here for logging in. And it's real easy, right? So we need to find the school district. We want to find homes in the school district. So they can come in here and start searching. Now, right now, we preloaded it with Ohio school districts. which is what we're targeting at this point in time. So you can see it's got to predict. Now there's 2 Lakotas. We got this data right from the state. You know, they wouldn't make it easy to label one east and west, right? But anyway, that's why you see 2 in there. So we hit that, and it's going to go through their database here and find homes that are available in that school district. You can see we've got these cards over here on the right. We also have some maps, and so you can interact with the map if you're looking to get closer to a specific address or something, but they're being listed there. Want to find more information about those homes, you can see kind of the ages that they like to work with, gender preference, religion. Some of these things are important after talking with the agency about that. So you can go through here and try to find someone and then call them right away. So rather than sifting through a big stack of paper, we're going to bring that down to a nice manageable list form to work with here. So that's that piece. There's also the manage piece in the background. So we built this so that they can update the list, edit the list, modify the list. So here's all the homes there. They can go through, they can add new homes that are available. All this works. We've got the edit screens wired up and working too. They go through and edit those too. So it all can be managed from the desktop experience. When you're logged out, notice you can log in or resources. So if someone were happen to come across this site who maybe wasn't the target as far as the center using this, but maybe someone's looking for help, right? We're going to link out to shelters, some information about job training to get them in the right direction. And then also if you want to help out, some links on how you become a mentor or maybe even some foster care home providers yourself. So that's out there too. So it is a little bit of an extension as well, not just a tool for people to use. So I'm going to jump over here to show the mobile experience. I could just do it. It's a responsive site. Is that too bright? Go lower. So it is a responsive site, and I could show that, but it really pops. The team worked hard on this to make sure the design looked good, because again, this is something that Layla's going to take and put in front of people to get funding to drive this program forward. It's something that really popped and looked good. So you can log in here. And I wish they put a lot of effort into making this responsive, which is why I really wanted to do it on the phone and show you guys. And by they, as I'm typing this, I've been part of GiveCamp for a number of years now, and I've pulled some of those all-nighters too, Chris. You still here? Yeah. This thing sucks. But I pulled some of them too. And this year, my team just took off. I provided a little bit of direction, tried to get out of the way, and man, they just really ran with this idea and what we could do as far as building the site. So they put a lot of effort into this. So you got the same kind of experience here. You see it's being adjusted, so you got more of a screen here to work with when you're typing in the school. So I'm going to pick the Lakota School District. You can switch to school district here. You still got the maps. We still got the cards available to go through and expand and look at that. So this is the person who's in the field, maybe they're visiting someone's home. They can pull this right up when they're there and search for this as well to find those people to work through them. Clicking on the email or phone call is going to go ahead and launch a phone or call. But we've also put a lot of time and effort into the managed list portion of this to make it work as well. So they can do some. You notice we're giving a warning right there. Your experience is being a little limited because you're using this in portrait mode, so you might want to switch to landscape. So we were prompting them to try to use it the right way as well, but everything's all going to work there in the responsive layout for adding new homes and such as well. So yeah, we're real excited. The senator gave some really cool feedback on this app. Hopefully a politician will follow through with his work. He'll get some funding on this and be able to use something. But we had a great time, and again, I can't thank the team enough. When I first looked at this project, I joked with the organizers saying, oh, we're gonna do maps. So like, you don't have time to be gold plating thing, right? We got our maps in there. And it's all because they worked real hard on it. So thank you, team. I appreciate it.
And actually, last thing, the cool thing is we do have an emancipated foster youth that he volunteered to do this, and he gave us a lot of feedback, and it was his idea to include this.
Yeah, that was direct feedback from him, yeah, so it was great.
All right, that was awesome. We're gonna leave off. media camera. Here, that's probably better, huh? Thank you. That's why you come back and text for me. All right. Edison's Music Maker Museum. This is another custom map, so there is no pre-existing. That's Tim Lewis was a team lead and representing the nonprofit. Do we have Charlotte and Rodney back?
Thank you. I just want to thank GiveCamp, the organizers, the sponsors, the teams. This was really an awesome weekend. We are a new organization. We are not even officially open yet. We opened in spring of 2016. And our mission is to collect voices and technologies, music technologies from the past. And when we started, our team was starting from scratch because we don't even have a website. So they had a big project ahead of them, but they did an amazing job. And I'm just really thankful for this weekend and how everything developed. And so I'm going to turn it over to Tim.
All right. First I need to learn how to spell. All right, so so we pretty much, like Charlotte said, they had nothing, but what they did have was a lot of great content. And I do want to first thank them for being here the whole week with us. Being here, they went home the same time we did. They gave great feedback, and all this great content you see on this page was stuff they've collected for years. That's true. I heard yesterday because I actually wanted to thank my team because I had to leave early yesterday because I had to write a 3-page paper for school, so I had to get home and get that done and get it turned in today. So they stayed late and continued working on the site, and so basically some of the big features we added were so if you go to upcoming events, we added a nice timeline so they can continue to add events as they come, and people can choose and read more. And when they do that, it will come up and they can get to all that great information about what's going on. The other feature, which I think this is my favorite because there's so much cool content in this, is all their exhibits. So you come up here, they went ahead and set up a YouTube channel so they can go ahead and upload all their videos and then go ahead and embed them here. So just real quick, it's because the stuff is so cool. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but all their videos are just some of the, some great pieces of history that it was just really fun to listen to and view. I don't think you can hear that. So they have that. Then over here, we have their other exhibits with pictures. So we actually went ahead and did a widget for a gallery that allows them to click on this, and that's responsive. So we just go ahead and images. We have a whole bunch of different exhibits just started out already that have a whole bunch of content already. The other one is, so we created a volunteer form so they can start getting some people helping them out and kind of continuing to keep the site up to date and add more information as they get it. A contact us page, so people can kind of contact them and ask questions and see what they're all about. And they can start donating as well. So we got that set up. And then the other thing is they can also now start selling stuff as well. So we got them the first thing that they can actually sell, so they can add the cart, go to PayPal, and then people can start buying from their site as well. So yeah, again, great. This is all WordPress. We made sure it was really easy for them to update, and I would like to personally thank Alan because he sat with them many hours this week, and I think they're probably better WordPress people than I am at this moment. So, but yeah, so again, this was a very fun project, and I'm excited to see where this goes. So.
I also want to thank, we didn't have a logo when we started. We had kind of had a very rough draft of an image that we wanted. So I want to thank John for helping to create that wonderful logo that now that we can take and
The collage,
The collage.
all of the touches, this is a beautiful site because of this guy.
he did a lot with the graphics and creating that logo, the color scheme, all of it, just the design experience of it. So that was an added bonus. I didn't even know we were going to get this weekend. So Rodney and I are just so thankful for this opportunity. We just can't say it enough. Thank you.
And I think John is happy that he spent the whole time on the one project, which has never happened in the history of GiveCamp. He's been here every year and has been on like 2 or 3 projects, so he was happy to stay with your project.
We appreciate it.
All right. Shows you how often I use PowerPoint. Where's the play? There we go. All right, I got it. Thank you. You use PowerPoint a lot, don't you? I know you do here. All right. Vivian's victory. Mr. Jack Wooten and Maria. That's right, Maria. So I'll let Maria talk. Jack's gonna. I don't know if I should let Jack run the slides or the. Do you know how? You're probably like me trying to flip it back and forth, aren't you?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Here's Maria.
Thanks for caring.
I'm Maria Dunlap, the Executive Director and Founder of Vivian's Victory. I love our site, I love my team, I'm so thankful for everything that happened this weekend. I'm sorry, I'm crying, I told them I was going to.
Hey, that's good, as long as I don't have to.
No, I just love everything that happened this weekend. I feel so blessed. I had such an amazing team. Jack was an awesome leader. Chris, Sarah, Sharon, Michelle's no longer here, and Kim had to leave also, but, and Lakshmi isn't here either, but just the dedication, the love, the processing that we did this weekend was so great, and I'm so thankful and so proud of what we're going to be able to share with our families. This is our old site. This is not what happened this weekend. I'm just, one of our big goals for the weekend was to create something that was really clean and easy for the families that we serve to be able to come to, get a picture of who we are, to know that they aren't alone, and to easily find a pathway for the hope to start for their family. And I think we accomplished that in so many more things than I thought could have happened, and I'm just so excited for what we're able to allow people to see of us now. And I'm just so thankful. I think everybody did a really great job, and it's gorgeous, and I'm obsessed. So thank you to all of my team, to everyone who put this on. This was such an amazing experience to be chosen to be part of something like this, so thank you.
So the first thing was I was just the pretty face to what was happening. The reality is I came into the weekend really tired, and Kim McGill, who is not here, actually stood up and took charge of a lot of the details of getting the site going from the standpoint of what do we need to do. So I want to make sure that I call her out. The team themselves kind of ran themselves. It was super easy. I tried to help. I think I just drove them down. So one of the very first things we did was really try to understand the problem that she's trying to solve. And there's really 2 main use cases. The family is kind of the obvious in your face. Of course, these are families in need that have been given a pre-diagnosis?
Or prenatal diagnosis.
There you go. So, right, so they've just gotten bad news and they're trying to figure out what their life is going to be like. I went through something similar with my first child, so I had a lot of understanding of what it feels like. The reality is the family is just stunned. They are barely able to just get through the information, and probably are not the ones who are going to be submitting for assistance. What we found is that the social worker is the one who's going to be doing that. So the term for referral is a medical term within the industry, so we use that specifically because we wanted them to be able to come in and go directly there. We did give them, there was a previous PDF form which shows up, does this on both the mobile and this. It's a long form, so what we did is we wanted to make it easy if they chose to do online. So we've given them both option because in some cases they don't have all the information when they come to the site. Okay, so there is an online application. It's basically a wizard allows. We also added a newsletter capability that pops up as you're going through the site. So that was one use case, was the social worker and being able to be that advocate for the family. The next thing was that we wanted to connect with a family. Right, when they came to the site, in the previous site, it was hard for them to identify with what they were coming to the site for, and so we wanted to make an impact emotionally. So we stuck with a very large image at the top, and then began to try to focus on the things that were super important, like the kids. Now there's the Viz Kids connection here, but on the website as you move down, you actually get the images for the kids and a small write-up that then they can go into and get more detail. So those were the main things that we did for the site. Donations, we've got connections to PayPal. That's a big part of this ability, but we didn't want it, don't know if you noticed, but it's like hitting you in the center of the forehead. I made a lot of jokes about that, but anyway, you can still do that. You can still support our work. And then obviously the connections, we've got some forms, contact and volunteer forms in the background as well. And then obviously responsive. So we walked through this several times on a couple of different platforms to make sure that if they're on their smartphone in the hospital for whatever reason or in the social worker's office, they can go through and it still looks and makes an impact to them. So that's what we did. It was a lot of fun.
I know. I wanted you to do it. You and Maria take it from me. You take the mantle. All right. Next up. Oh, okay. Close at work. Alan Garrison was the team lead. And Bill is the nonprofit rep. You didn't have anything. It's all new.
So thank you. Definitely appreciate this experience. This has been a wonderful asset, especially to close at work. As I said, we're all about image, so we actually already had a website last year. We have a lot of great things, but when it comes to actually tracking our activities, what we do, that's where we were sorely lacking. When a client comes to us, they actually have just a Word document form that's filled out. That form gets handed to someone else to complete. Then maybe it ends up in an Access database. Then someone would update the form and not update our database. So as we're getting larger and larger, it was becoming increasingly difficult to just accurately track who it is we serve, what do we know about them, how can we better meet their needs in the future. So that's where we said, okay, we got the image part taken care of, but we really need to know more about our clients. And we need to make sure that we can make this a easy process, very user-friendly, because one of the other things for us is we're very small. We have 3 full-time employees, 2 part-time employees. So someone's got to be able to get all this information in the system and then get it out again. So as they're setting this up, we did definitely have a great team. One of the things, even I think we all learned a little bit of PHP this weekend, so we found out that not a lot of people knew PHP. But ultimately, we don't even have to worry about server space now. One of my boss's big concerns was, where are we going to put this? Well, it's all running off our website now. So we've actually been able to even eliminate some paper from the process, because now, rather than having a volunteer fill out a little piece of paper and hand it to the staff member, I can set up my tablet and we can input it all into the system directly from there. So, and this was probably the only time you'd ever hear it from Close at Work. This was the first time where I said it did not have to look pretty. It just had to be functional. But I think we got a great opportunity here, especially, I think the team did a great job making this functional, making this usable, and making this expandable, something that we can continue to modify and really make use of as we go down the road.
All right. Yeah, as you said, pretty much as far as the design goes, putting this logo here at the bottom center is about all that happened. Since there was no before effectively was managing a Microsoft Access database called like customers.mdb. That was the before. So we spent a bit of time taking data out of the Access database, which was somewhat normalized and somewhat not. So we rolled a web application here. Bill here is somewhat familiar with PHP, so he had said that right up front when I met with him last week. So did a PHP solution. I've been out of the PHP world for a little while, so I did some research, found something called Fuel PHP, which is kind of like the Ruby on Rails version of PHP, so I figured what could possibly go wrong, and because I've done Ruby in the past and Rails and all that. It turned out to work pretty well. There was a little bit of weird hiccups here and there, but ultimately, I think it worked out pretty well. I don't have the display on my screen here, so I got to look up here at a weird angle. And basically, it's just a bunch of add, change, delete screens with listings, and we're not fully deployed yet. We had a couple last minute things we wanted to get before we fully deployed here, and I can't see where my cursor is. But basically, yeah, just a bunch of listing screens, view screens. We've got some nested stuff in. So for each client that Closeout Work deals with, they get a record and they do some survey stuff, they do some work history. There's various appointments because the nonprofit does workshops and interview training programs, things like that. What was I say? Items distribution, so of course Closeout Work, not fully done with this part yet, but basically they want to keep track of if they gave a certain person like a pair of shoes, a blazer, a pair of pants, those kinds of things. That helps them with their kind of their business side. You've got various types of items. They've got approximate dollar values because that also helps them for, I believe, tax purposes or things like that. They keep track of all the volunteers that they deal with, services, the different kinds of things they do, like workshops, things like that. They deal with a lot of partner agencies, so they have to keep track of all these partner agencies and just a couple of other extraneous kinds of just web application stuff, user management, that kind of thing. So got all the data in, apart from the occasional weird hiccup thing that we eventually got figured out. This weekend actually went pretty well for us, given that I had about a handful of hours worth of experience with Fuel PHP before the whole thing started, and no one else on my team did. So it went pretty well, so I'd like to thank Jim, James, Charlie, and Tony, and anyone else who helped us out, and the GiveCamp support people and all that, and Matt's Arms. So thank you.
All right. Back here. We're getting there. I know you guys all want to go home. We're getting there. All right. Bridges Path. No. There was nothing there for Bridges Path, but David DeLella and your name is Deanna? Yeah. And here's Deanna. She's going to talk about it.
We don't mean to brag, but we probably have the best team here. We posted that on Facebook. Our guys kind of rocked. Tim, why are you up here? You're just standing back. Okay, so that's Tim. He was awesome. I think the rest of our team had to leave. We had Tim, we had Brad, Chuck, Joe, we had David, and we had Kevin. We had an incredible team. Those guys worked, and we kept chucking candy at them, and we kept their garbage out of the way so they didn't have to get up, and we did everything we could to keep them going, but they were awesome. And we have that little thing, we have a paper here. This is how we always kept track of all of our stuff, and he'll show you that, I'm sure, but it was not efficient, folks. It was really tedious, and it really wasn't working well for us. So they are magician, amazing men that they created for us, this incredible piece of work that will help us keep track of all of our diapers, wipes, formula, all these incredible things. And we couldn't quit this place. We just couldn't walk out of here. So last night they basically had to kick us out and tell us to go home when there really was nothing left for us to do but stare at them. And we are ready for, oh, there it is. Look at that. We don't want to go back to those days. I promised the team that we won't be one of those organizations that just comes here and then chucks whatever happens here to the wayside 6 months later. This will be to the day our organization dies, probably, us using this. And so we love it. We are so excited to get back and start entering stuff into this database and letting it do what it's designed to do. Keep us organized, keep us set, and we are really, really thrilled. Our team just couldn't have been better, and we love GiveCamp. We're actually ready for Christmas GiveCamp, and St. Patrick's Day GiveCamp, Easter GiveCamp, is there a Flag Day GiveCamp? Really, whatever other GiveCamps we could come to, we would totally sign up for that.
to organize those, right?
Don't challenge us with that. Because we have so many wonderful things, everything we see come up, we're going, oh, we want that too. We want that too. We love it, we love GiveCamp. We are totally like psyched to just put a tent outside and just pick it for more GiveCamps, because we love it. So I'm gonna hand the mic over to David, he's awesome, and he'll tell you all the other really cool stuff about it.
Yeah, as she said, love GiveCamp. I also would like to thank my team. Tim is the only one here remaining, all the rest had to go, but they definitely put in a lot of hours, almost the entire weekend for everyone that was with us to knock this solution out. We started trying to use Umbraco because we were all .NET developers. I know we stole most of them from everyone else, but after lots and lots of trials and efforts, we ended up with a just native MVC app because Umbraco just would not like the way we were trying to do this. So we ended up going from what you see here, which was their inventory tracking by pen, which was a very efficient system, especially when you start talking thousands and thousands of donations. It just becomes highly inefficient. So what we did was we developed them we gave them a native MVC app where they can come now here and log in. And so essentially what we have here is we tried to make it a little more user-friendly from the get-go, a little less app-like. So we tried to throw in a few things for them right off the front so they can come into the app and know kind of what they have to do. So we gave them some KPIs and a few things about what kind of events they're going to be taking donations for coming up in the near future so that they can track how much they raised, how much they collected, things like that at different donation drives. We basically can come into the inventory once things have been donated, and the system will allow them to come in and see currently what their stock is that they have on site, what different sizes and things like that they have available for them to pull from, and they can add and remove amount of stock that they have. This can be done also, bear with me because we've never tested this. We're going to try it right now, and it still works. Okay, sweet. It's a little crunched at the moment, but it works. Okay, so it is going to be more mobile friendly. There's a little bit of polish that's necessary still, but all in all, mobile works pretty well. So basically, it's a very simple site, just allows them to finally now get away from having to write it all down. So I'm sure there will be plenty of
Okay. This is not closed at work. Okay. K2 Gallery and Tejas. And Rebecca and Rob. What'd you do? You sent him home, didn't you?
Well, he covered this morning.
Okay, all right. Okay, you got the fantastic.
The co-lead.
This is Elaine.
Our team loves coffee. I've had so much coffee. Anyway, K12 Gallery in Tejas has been growing exponentially, especially over the last couple of years. They're great at creating art experiences for children and people of all ages, but not tracking who we're serving. And as the grant writer, I am diligent on knowing this information. So, we now have a great registration site where people can search different elements that they couldn't do before. If they want to take a painting class, they can look at all of our painting classes. If they want to do it by month, they can look at it, things that way. Another great thing this is going to do, when they register, we're going to get more demographic information so we can sort and create reports by age, by seeing how many low income we're serving. It's just going to give us so much more usable data that I'm totally excited about this.
Yeah, so I was kind of trying to go along with how you were talking. No, that's fine. But really, they didn't have it before because they do have people register, and they have them register online or when they come in. But what would happen when they would register is then someone would receive an email, and then they would manually type that into QuickBooks only for the purposes of financial reporting, right? So no way to gather additional information, and that's just a terrible process. And then if they would come in there, they could do something on paper, but again, let's manually input that into QuickBooks only for the purposes of financial reporting. And so how do you figure out how many people from a certain zip code come in? How many people do you serve in, these ages, from poverty levels, from, minority, women, what have you? There's no way you can do that. And so I have no idea how you've gotten grants in the past. It's amazing. So we've given them a very simple application so that they can input the information, and then also the participants can enter in the information themselves as well. So hopefully they can kind of expand on this. So yes, I can register for a class, right? 11, go Lebanon, go Warriors. I don't think I can think anymore. There's a lot of information. We shouldn't have to put it all in, but not sure if we do or not.
You are tired.
Yeah, I am tired. So our team, we had a plan, we completely changed our plan, we completely changed our plan again. So we ended up having kind of an HTML5 PHP application with SQL Server database and using SQL Server reporting services, so that we could then get this information out, right? And we could create any kind of reports that we want. So we did kind of link in the SQL Server reporting services. So here I just see that, Timmy's registered. But if I wanted to report on information, we kind of gave them a view into this. But our team, who we have 2 members here, so we have Tim and Nikhil, they were a part of our team and did a great job. And then we also had Edwin and Shayla, who was amazing, Rob, and then we have Edwin. I love Rob. But Edwin was retired, and he was into data analytics and was going back to school to kind of learn what was happening now. And then Nikhil is currently in his undergrad at UC. So it was very cool that we had, and lots of different experience with different languages, and nobody knew PHP except for poor Jury, who I didn't mention because she did most of this work here. So it was amazing. Yeah, I'll log in here. I'll show you this and then I'll be done. And then Elaine got us birdhouses. Amazing. Craft bird, Tim has one up there. These craft birdhouses that are awesome.
Well, we just said we're going to call them the GiveCamp Birdhouse, so might be a good concept.
Well, she noticed that the roof, right, like the logo. Yeah. This is great. Okay. I don't know why I can't log in. I'm too tired. Report server. Tim, why can't I log in?
There's a user at the end of the username.
Yes. Oh, not for the report server, is there?
Yeah.
Is there? Nikhil. Did anyone else use SQL Server reports? No? Yes? So So the report builders so that they can build their own reports, and then we have a couple of reports, but we plan to go back with them later and build them some more useful reports once we export the data and import it in. We weren't able to export the participant data. That's it. Thank you.
All right. Oh, what was this? That was the website.
That was how we signed in for classes before.
Okay.
So that was all the information that was captured. And
Gotcha.
Our new one is going to get all that other great information.
Gotcha.
Email from there, so it was
Okay. That was kind of before. All right. Final review. All right, here's all our sponsors. We got to thank all of them again. Thank you so much for donating all the money for the food and this location, which we get a great deal on, but it's still not cheap. So we really appreciate every one of these people and giving us money every year. Special thanks to Miami University and Rod, who is the director here, for letting us come back for our 6th year. He's been a great partner, and once again is giving us an awesome deal on this awesome location. And we need your help for next year, but before I say that, I want to thank all the organizers. Angie, she stepped up and brought the kids with the camper. I mean, Jason's going to be here anyway, but still, she was right outside, getting all the food, bringing it all in, and it was great. So thank you, Angie. You did great. Thanks, kids. And of course, Eric Schwartz, he's the rock. He keeps us all together. So thank you, Eric. Mike, great job, website, everything, running around, doing all the tech support. That's awesome. Thank you, Mike. Peggy, what can I say? Coffee, everything, you're great. So thank you very much, Peggy. Alan, I know Alan's already up here. There he is. Thank you, Alan, for being the guy going around doing the WordPress training. That was great. You helped out through the year too, but that was great. You really shined this whole weekend. So thank you very much, Alan. What, Ryan? Where's Ryan?
Ryan's not here.
Well, Ryan, thank you, Ryan. Wherever you are, you're great. You're awesome putting the things together. Jason. Well, Jason was already up here showing off. So, but yes, Jason was the one that got all our sponsorships, got it all together, brought the camper once again, provided his wife and kids for the weekend. So Jason, not only was he an awesome team lead, but he's an awesome organizer too. So. We do need your help for next year. I mean, we had some people step up, like Jason, came to us after being a team lead for a couple years, and he finally came and said, hey, what can I do? And he stepped up. So we as organizers, it's our 6th year, so we could use more people to be tactical. So we could use your help. If you're all inspired by being here this weekend, please come and see you afterwards and get.
Sure, or send us an email or whatever.
Send us an email, whatever, to the info at Southwest Ohio GiveCamp. We need more sponsors. You saw that great list, but that's still not enough. We just broke even this year, right? Yeah, so we're like out of money after. So we got to start fresh. We would like to have a little bit of cushion. So if you guys know of anybody that'd be great sponsors, please send them our way. And obviously volunteer again, because you had a great time. Please come back next year and sign up a little sooner so we know who's coming. So here's all the contact information. So, all right, send.